The sunlight streamed through the large glass window of Emma's apartment, creating shimmering streaks on the wooden floor. The noisy sounds of the city of Austin, Texas, where life never stops, echoed from outside. The sounds of traffic, the music from a nearby cafe, and the laughter of a group of young people gathering in a nearby park blended together into a vibrant symphony. But in the quiet space of the apartment, Emma felt as if she were trapped in a nightmare. She stood before the mirror, looking at her reflection. Her tired face, dark circled eyes, and messy hair made her feel like she had lost part of herself. "I can't keep going like this," Emma thought to herself, gripping the comb tightly. She had worked hard for the past 3 years, trying to build a career in marketing, but now, everything seemed to be falling apart around her. "Emma. Hey, someone wants to meet you." The voice of Sophie, her sister, rang out from the living room. A wave of anxiety surged within Emma. Sophie had been living with her for 3 years, but their relationship was becoming increasingly strained. Sophie was not just Emma's sister, but also a close friend, yet Sophie's dependence on Emma was becoming heavier. "What is it?" Emma replied, trying to keep her tone calm. "You have to see this," Sophie said, her tone excited. Emma could hear music coming from Sophie's laptop, and a feeling of dread welled up inside her. She knew that Sophie might be doing something wrong, and that made Emma uneasy. As Emma stepped into the living room, she saw Sophie sitting on the sofa, her eyes glued to the screen. "Sister, watch this video," Sophie said, a smile on her face as if she had just found treasure. Emma felt a strange excitement. "What video?" she asked, but Sophie did not answer. Instead, she pressed play, and the images appeared. A familiar voice rang out. It was Uncle Mike, Emma's uncle. "Hello everyone. Today I have an interesting story about Emma." He laughed loudly, and Emma felt her face flush. She didn't like it when her uncle talked about her in front of others, especially Sophie. "She's too nice, letting me stay without asking for anything in return," Sophie said to her friends. And laughter erupted. Emma stood frozen, feeling as if someone had just stabbed her heart. She had let Sophie stay, had opened her heart, and had helped her over the past 3 years. But now all of that seemed to become a joke. "Sister, I didn't think you would react like that," Sophie said, still laughing. "You can't treat me like a tenant." "Enough," Emma yelled, unable to hold back her anger. "You can't keep relying on me forever. You're grown up now, and it's time for you to take responsibility for your life." Sophie stopped laughing, her face shifting from joy to surprise. "Are you serious? You can't kick me out." "I'm not kicking you out. I just want you to understand that life isn't always easy," Emma said, her voice softening but still firm. "You need to find a job and start being independent." The emotions in the room grew heavy. Emma felt as if she had just thrown a bomb into their relationship. She didn't want to hurt Sophie, but she also couldn't continue living in this dependence any longer. She knew that if they didn't change, both sisters would be caught in an inescapable spiral. "You won't be able to find a job without my help," Sophie said, her tone starting to turn pessimistic. "You can do it. I believe in you," Emma replied, but deep down, she wasn't so sure. She had once been a dreamer, but now reality forced her to confront difficulties she had never imagined before. A long silence stretched between the sisters, and Emma felt each second pass like a century. She looked into Sophie's eyes, seeing hurt and confusion. She understood that she was at a crucial crossroads in her life. Not just her own, but also Sophie's. "I can help you find a job, but you have to be ready to change," Emma said, determination in her voice. "We need to talk clearly and honestly with each other." Sophie looked down at the floor, and Emma felt the turmoil in her sister's heart. She knew this wasn't going to be an easy conversation, but if they couldn't get through this challenge, Their relationship would never return to what it was. "All right," Sophie said, her voice softening. "I'll try." Emma felt a glimmer of hope ignite within her. Maybe this was the turning point they both needed to rediscover themselves and build a better relationship. Yet deep down, she knew the path ahead wouldn't be easy. "We will get through this together," Emma said, holding Sophie's hand. "I will always be here to support you, but you also have to stand up for yourself." As the sunlight began to fade, Emma felt as though a new chapter was beginning in her life. A chapter filled with challenges but also full of hope. She didn't know what awaited her in the future, but she knew she was ready to face it. After the tense conversation with Sophie, Emma felt as if she had just stepped out of a storm. She had made a difficult decision, yet one full of hope. However, deep down, she still carried a heavy burden of worries. She knew that change would not come easy, and Sophie would need time to accept this reality. The next day, Emma decided to start looking for jobs for Sophie. She sat in front of her computer, typing keyword after keyword into the job search website. Every time she hit enter, she felt as though she was opening a new door, but simultaneously felt the weight of pressure on her shoulders. "I must do this," she told herself, "not just for Sophie but for my own sake too." When Emma found a few suitable job postings, she called Sophie. "Hey, I found some jobs that seem suitable for you. Can we prepare the application together? Can you do something else?" Sophie replied, her voice a bit disheartened. "I don't know if I can." "You can. I believe in you." Emma encouraged, but she felt the exhaustion in Sophie's voice. "Let's give it a try at least. You can learn more from it." Sophie was silent for a moment and then answered, "All right, but I can't promise that I'll succeed." Emma felt a twinge of disappointment, but she understood that not everything could change instantly. She decided not to give up. "I'll be here to support you. We can write a resume together." When Emma and Sophie sat down together to work on the application, Emma felt like a guide. She helped Sophie recognize the skills she had, from organizing small events to communicating with friends. But Sophie still appeared to lack confidence, and Emma felt as if she was trying to pull a heavy truck up a hill. "I don't know if I am capable or not," Sophie sighed, her eyes full of sadness. "You can do it. Remember, I was once in a similar situation. I had to struggle to find my place in this job," Emma said, trying to inspire her sister. "But you have experience, and I don't." Sophie countered. "True, but everyone starts somewhere. I don't want you to just stay still. Give yourself a chance," Emma persuaded. Eventually, Sophie nodded, and they began to write the resume. But just when Emma thought things were going in the right direction, a sudden phone call from Uncle Mike disrupted everything. "Emma, I heard about your situation. You can't let Sophie live off you forever. You need to teach her a lesson," Uncle Mike said, his voice stern. "Uncle, I understand that, but..." Emma tried to explain. "No buts. If not, you will ruin her whole life. Let her be independent," Uncle Mike interrupted. Emma felt angry. "You don't know what our situation is. You only see the surface without understanding anything at all. You need to be stronger. If you don't do this, you will regret it later on," he said, and Emma felt as if he had slammed shut the door of hope she had just opened. After the call, Emma felt tired and confused. She didn't know what to do next. Should she continue helping Sophie, or should she let her stand on her own? These thoughts swirled in Emma's mind, making it hard for her to focus on work. "Sister, what's wrong?" Sophie asked when she saw Emma deep in thought. "Is something not right?" "No, it's nothing," Emma replied. But she knew she had to share what had happened. "It's just... Uncle Mike called, and he thinks I should let you be independent." He doesn't understand anything, Sophie said, her voice a bit frustrated. I don't want to rely on you, but I don't know what to do either. I don't know either, Emma admitted, but I want you to feel more confident about yourself. I feel like I'm stuck, Sophie said, tears beginning to well up. People only see my dependency, but they don't see how hard I've tried. Emma moved closer and hugged Sophie. I understand. But you need to give yourself a chance. Let's try it, and we'll figure things out together. Sophie nodded, but Emma could see the worry in her sister's eyes. She knew they would both face many challenges ahead. The next day, Emma decided to take Sophie to a career workshop she had found online. This could be a great opportunity for you to meet people and learn more about jobs, Emma said, trying to motivate her sister. When they arrived, Emma felt anxious. The venue was a large convention center, filled with many young people walking around, networking, and searching for opportunities. But Sophie seemed uncomfortable, her eyes observing everything with apprehension. Sister, I don't know if I can do this, Sophie said, her voice shaking. You can, just give it a try. Emma encouraged, but Sophie stood frozen, as if she were paralyzed. Emma decided to take action. I will go with you. We'll visit a few booths and talk to the recruiters, she said, taking Sophie's hand. As they entered, Emma felt as if she was leading an adventure. They stopped at a booth from a startup company. A young man, wearing a shirt and jeans, stood there smiling and greeting them. Hello. I'm Jake, and we're looking for dynamic and creative individuals to join our team, he said. Emma felt a wave of excitement rise within her. Sophie, this is your opportunity, she whispered. I don't know what to say, Sophie replied, her eyes showing fear. Just talk about yourself and what you like, Emma encouraged. Sophie took a deep breath and then stepped forward. Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm looking for a job in marketing. Jake looked at Sophie encouragingly. Great. Do you have any experience? Not yet, but I've helped organize some events at school, Sophie said, her voice sounding more confident. That's a good start. Can you send me your resume? Jake asked, and Emma felt a surge of happiness in her heart. Sophie nodded, and after exchanging information, they left the booth feeling uplifted. See? You did it. Emma said, a smile blossoming on her face. Thank you, sister, but I'm still worried, Sophie admitted. That's normal. But remember, you have taken the first step. I'm so proud of you. Emma replied, and within her, a new hope was igniting. Yet as they left the workshop, Emma couldn't shake off the uneasy feeling about the call from Uncle Mike. She wondered if he was right, if she was ruining Sophie's life. She knew that change would not come easily, and both sisters would have to face many more challenges in the journey of self-discovery. Sister, I feel like I have truly started, Sophie said, her eyes sparkling with hope. Exactly. Keep this spirit up. We will get through everything together. Emma replied, but within her, many unanswered questions still lingered. Everything seems to be going smoothly. Sophie has received an interview from the startup company that Emma recommended. She has prepared thoroughly, spending hours researching the company and practicing interview questions. Emma also feels proud of her sister's growth, but deep down, she still has an unshakable worry about her decision. One morning, while Emma is sitting at her favorite coffee shop, she receives a message from Sophie. Sister, I need to see you right away. It's urgent. Emma's heart races. She quickly leaves the cafe, feeling a wave of excitement rising within her. Upon arriving at the apartment, Emma sees Sophie sitting on the sofa, her face pale and her eyes red. Sister. I don't know what to say. Sophie says, her voice trembling. What's wrong, sis? Did you go for the interview? Emma asks, worried. No. Sophie sighs. I ran into an old friend at the seminar yesterday. He told me about another job, but I don't know what to do. What job? Emma asks, feeling anxious. It's a sales job for a big company. They pay very well, but I would have to work long hours and possibly travel frequently, Sophie says, her eyes filled with conflict. Emma feels as if a storm is brewing in her heart. But you have already prepared for that job. You have an opportunity with the startup company that you like. I know, but a higher salary means I can help you more, Sophie replies, her voice full of worry. Don't think about me. This is your life. Emma says, her anger rising. You need to do what you truly want. But you have sacrificed so much for me. Sophie counters, tears beginning to roll down her cheeks. I don't want to disappoint you. You're not disappointing me. I just want you to live for yourself. Emma says, her voice starting to tremble. If you choose this job just because you want to help me, then you will never feel happy. Both sisters fall silent, the atmosphere in the room becoming tense. Emma feels as if everything is collapsing around her. She doesn't want to hurt Sophie, but she also can't let her sister continue to live in dependency. Sister, I don't know what to do anymore. Sophie finally says, her voice softening. You need to make a decision for yourself. Think about what you want, Emma advises, but inside her, the worry about Sophie's future remains. After that tense conversation, Emma feels as if she is standing at a crossroads. She has tried to help Sophie find her own path, but now everything seems more complicated than ever. She not only has to face her anxiety about her sister's future but also confront the expectations and desires from their family. A week later, Sophie receives a notification from the startup company where she interviewed. Sister, I got the job. Sophie exclaims, her eyes shining brightly. Emma feels happy, but also a sense of concern. That's great news. But are you sure this is the right decision? I've made up my mind, sister. I want to challenge myself here. Sophie says, her voice full of determination. However, before the joy could settle down, a surprise phone call from Uncle Mike turns everything upside down. Emma, I heard about your decision. You can't let Sophie continue to live off you forever. His voice is stern. You don't understand anything. Emma replies, feeling angry. Sophie has decided for her own life. But are you sure it's the right decision? If not, you will regret it. Uncle Mike says, and Emma feels as though he has stabbed her heart. When the call ends, Emma feels confused. She has tried her best to support Sophie. But now things seem to be getting too much for her. She can't help but think about what Uncle Mike said. Is she ruining Sophie's life? The next day, Sophie prepares for her first day at the startup. Emma sees her sister wearing a white shirt and trousers, looking more confident than ever. But inside Emma, there are still many worries. Are you ready? She asks. For sure. I feel nervous but also very excited. Sophie replies, a smile on her face. I will always be here to support you, Emma says, but inside she still feels heavy-hearted. As Sophie leaves the house, Emma decides to take a walk to ease her mind. She wanders through the crowded streets of Austin, where people are busy with their lives. But her mind is swirling with worries about Sophie. Maybe I was wrong, Emma tells herself. Maybe I should let Sophie choose the job she wants. But just as that thought arises, she feels a wave of anxiety rising. If Sophie is not happy, can she live with that? When Emma returns home, she realizes that the atmosphere in the apartment has become heavy. Sophie has returned home, but the vibe is no longer cheerful as before. Sister, I met some people at the company, but... Sophie says, her voice sounding tired. What's wrong? Emma asks, feeling anxious. I don't know if I can adapt to this working environment, Sophie admits. Her eyes empty. But you were very excited before. Did you encounter something difficult? Emma asks. Some people there are very strict. They don't easily accept my opinions. And I feel like I don't belong there, Sophie says, her voice full of disappointment. Emma feels as if everything is collapsing. You need to give yourself time. Everyone needs time to adapt. She encourages. But if I can't make it, what will I do? I gave up another opportunity just to try this here, Sophie says, tears beginning to roll down her cheeks. Don't cry. I don't want you to feel this way, Emma says, hugging her tightly. Give yourself a chance. I will always be here to support you. But inside Emma, the worry still lingers. She wonders if she is ruining Sophie's life. She knows that things can't continue like this, and both need to make decisions for their futures. A week passes, and Sophie still feels stuck in her job. She has tried her best to integrate, but things seem to be showing no signs of improvement. Finally, Sophie decides to talk to Emma. Sister, I can't go on like this anymore. I want to quit my job. She says, her voice full of sadness. Are you sure? Emma asks, feeling worried. That's a big decision. I know, but I can't live in anxiety and unhappiness like this, Sophie admits. Emma feels as if a storm is gathering in her heart. If you decide to quit, you will have to seek another job. I can't continue to support you like this, Emma says, trying to stay calm. I understand, but I can't keep living in this dependency. I need to find my own path, Sophie says, her eyes shimmering with tears. Then we will seek new opportunities together. I will help you. Emma says, but she knows it won't be easy. When Sophie decides to quit the job, Emma feels as if she is standing at a crossroads. She doesn't know what to do next. Should she continue to support Sophie or let her stand on her own? After Sophie quits her job, the two sisters spend a lot of time searching for new opportunities. They have sent applications to many different companies, but there are no signs that Sophie will find a suitable job. One evening, while sitting together at the dinner table, Sophie sighs. Sister, I feel like I'm spiraling in a loop with no way out. I don't know what to do next, she says. Don't worry, you will find a job. We just need to be patient, Emma encourages. But inside she also feels pressure. But I've tried many places with no results. Am I not good enough? Sophie asks, her voice full of doubt. No. You are very talented. Trust yourself, Emma says. But she also feels worried about her sister's future. As Sophie continues her job search, Emma feels like she is caught in an endless battle. She can't let Sophie continue to live in dependency. But she also doesn't want her sister to feel abandoned. One morning, while Emma is cleaning the apartment, she receives a call from Uncle Mike. Emma, I heard about your situation. You need to do something to help Sophie become independent, he says, his tone serious. You don't understand anything. Emma replies, feeling angry. Sophie is trying to find her own path. You need to be stronger. If not, you will ruin her life, Uncle Mike says, and Emma feels like he has stabbed her heart again. The call ends, and Emma feels confused. She doesn't know what to do next. Is she ruining Sophie's life? That night, when both sisters sit together, Emma decides she must speak clearly. Sophie, I think you need to make a decision for yourself. Think about what you truly want, she says. I don't know. I feel like I'm stuck, Sophie replies, her voice full of worry. I understand. But you need to give yourself a chance. Just try, and then we will figure it out together, Emma encourages. But if I can't do it, what will I do? Sophie asks. Tears beginning to roll down her cheeks. Emma feels heartbroken. Don't cry. I don't want you to feel this way, she says, hugging her sister tightly. Give yourself a chance. I will always be here to support you. But inside Emma, the worry still lingers. She wonders if she is ruining Sophie's life. A week later, when Sophie has found a new job, Emma feels as if she has opened a new door. "Sister, I found a new job," Sophie exclaims, her eyes shining brightly. "That's wonderful news. But are you sure this is the right decision?" Emma asks. "I've made up my mind, sister. I want to challenge myself here," Sophie says, her voice full of determination. Emma feels happy, but there's also a sense of concern. "I will always be here to support you," she says, but inside she still has many unanswered questions. On Sophie's first day at work, Emma feels more anxious than her sister. She doesn't know what awaits them ahead, but she knows they will have to face more challenges in their journey of self-discovery. When Sophie returns home after her first day of work, Emma notices her sister looks tired but also passionate. "Sister, I met some wonderful people. They are very supportive and helpful to me," Sophie says, her eyes sparkling with hope. "I'm very proud of you. This is the first step for you to find your own path," Emma says, but inside she still has many unanswered questions. However, the joy doesn't last long. One day, while Emma is working from home, she receives a call from Uncle Mike. "Emma, I heard about your decision. You need to do something to help Sophie become independent," he says, his voice serious. "You don't understand anything," Emma replies, feeling angry. "Sophie is trying to find her own path. But are you sure that's the right decision? If not, you will regret it," Uncle Mike says, and Emma feels as though he has stabbed her heart again. The call ends, and Emma feels confused. She doesn't know what to do next. Is she ruining Sophie's life? When Sophie returns home after her first day of work, Emma notices her sister looks tired but also passionate. "Sister, I met some wonderful people. They are very supportive and helpful to me," Sophie says, her eyes sparkling with hope. "I'm very proud of you. This is the first step for you to find your own path," Emma says, but inside she still has many unanswered questions. Everything seemed to be going smoothly until a phone call from the company that Sophie had quit comes in. "Hello Sophie, we want to invite you back to work," the voice on the other end says. Emma feels her heart stop. "Sophie, you quit that job. You can't go back," she says, her anxiety rising. "But they are offering a higher salary and more opportunities," Sophie says, her eyes sparkling with hope. "But you quit for a reason. You can't keep living in anxiety and unhappiness like this," Emma counters, feeling angry. "I know. But this could be the best opportunity I've ever had," Sophie says, her voice full of worry. Emma feels as if she is standing at a crossroads. She doesn't know what to do next. Should she continue to support Sophie or let her stand on her own? Finally, Emma decides she must speak clearly. "Sophie, I think you need to make a decision for yourself. Think about what you truly want," she says. "I don't know. I feel like I'm stuck," Sophie replies, her voice full of worry. "I understand, but you need to give yourself a chance. Just try. And then we will figure it out together," Emma encourages. "But if I can't do it, what will I do?" Sophie asks, tears beginning to roll down her cheeks. Emma feels heartbroken. "Don't cry. I don't want you to feel this way," she says, hugging her sister tightly. "Give yourself a chance. I will always be here to support you." But inside Emma, the worry still lingers. She wonders if she is ruining Sophie's life. After Sophie quits her job, both sisters spend a lot of time looking for new opportunities. They have sent applications to many different companies. But there are no signs that Sophie will find a suitable job. One evening, while sitting together at the dinner table, Sophie sighs. "Sister, I feel like I'm spinning in a loop with no way out. I don't know what to do next." Time passed, and Sophie went through many ups and downs in her new job. Every day, she had to face new challenges. From adapting to the company culture to building relationships with colleagues. Even though there were times when she felt stuck, Sophie did not stop trying. Emma was always by her side, encouraging and supporting her sister in every step. One afternoon, while Emma was cooking in the kitchen, Sophie returned home with a bright smile. "Sister, I just completed a big project. The boss praised me," Sophie said, her eyes sparkling with joy. "That's wonderful. I'm so proud of you," Emma replied, feeling an overwhelming happiness in her heart. But right after that, a feeling of worry rose up. "But are you sure this is the place you want to stay?" she asked. "I've thought a lot about that," Sophie admitted, "and I feel like I've found a part of myself here. But I also know that I need to keep exploring." Emma nodded, feeling joy as she saw her sister's growth. "I'll always support you, no matter what your decision is." But deep down, Emma still felt a lingering worry. She wondered if she was doing the right thing. Was she letting Sophie live in dependency for too long? Was Sophie capable enough to stand on her own? One evening, while the two sisters were sitting together watching a movie, Emma decided she had to voice her thoughts. "Sophie, I want you to know that I always believe in you. But I'm also worried that you might still be depending on me too much," Emma said, her voice sincere. "I understand, sister. I've thought about that too," Sophie replied, her eyes thoughtful. "But I don't know what to do to be independent. Maybe you should try your hand at some personal project. Something that you are truly passionate about," Emma suggested, feeling a bit excited. "What do you think about me starting a blog to share my experiences? I could write about what I've learned from work and life," Sophie proposed, her eyes lighting up. "That's a great idea. You can connect with many other people and share your stories together," Emma encouraged. Sophie nodded, and from that moment, she started writing her blog. Each article carried genuine emotions, from the challenges at work to joyful moments with family. Emma felt proud as she saw her sister grow day by day, and she knew that Sophie was gradually finding her own path. Time passed, and Sophie's blog quickly attracted attention from many people. She began receiving positive feedback, and that only fueled her motivation further. Emma was always there, reading each article and constantly encouraging her sister. One day, when Sophie was sitting down to write a new piece, she received a message from a reader. "Thank you for your sincere sharing. I found motivation from your story and decided to change my life." Sophie felt an overwhelming joy in her heart. "Sister, I just received a message from a reader. They said that my story helped them find motivation," she said, her eyes sparkling with happiness. "That's the best thing you could ever receive. You are making a positive impact on others," Emma replied, feeling proud of her sister. But amidst the joys, Emma couldn't escape thoughts about Uncle Mike. She felt the need to confront him to resolve the conflicts within herself. One afternoon, Emma decided to call Uncle Mike. "I have thought a lot about what you said," Emma began, her voice somewhat serious. "I understand that you just want what's best for Sophie. But I also feel that I have done what is best for her. Emma, I just want to see you and Sophie happy." "But you need to teach the little girl a lesson," Uncle Mike said, his tone softening. "You don't understand the reality. Sophie is trying to find her own path, and I don't want to interfere in her decisions," Emma replied, feeling a wave of excitement rising. "True. But you need to be stronger. If not, you'll ruin her life," Uncle Mike said, and Emma felt as if he had stabbed a knife into her heart. "I will not ruin Sophie's life. I will always be here to support her, but I also want her to stand up on her own." "That's the most important thing," Emma said, and in her heart, a feeling of relief began to spread. After the call, Emma felt like she had lifted part of her burden. She knew she had done the right thing, and that made her feel more confident about her decisions. One morning, while Emma was having coffee she received a call from Sophie. "Sister, I just received an invitation to participate in a writing workshop. They want me to share about my blog," Sophie said, her voice full of excitement. "That's wonderful. Make the most of this opportunity," Emma replied, feeling overwhelming joy in her heart. As Sophie prepared for the workshop, Emma felt more anxious than her sister. She knew this was a significant step in Sophie's journey. "Remember that I will always be here supporting you," Emma said, holding her sister's hand tightly. "Thank you for always being there for me." "I couldn't do this without you," Sophie admitted, her eyes filled with gratitude. The day of the workshop arrived, and Sophie stood before the crowd, her eyes more confident than ever. "Hello everyone, I am Sophie, and today I want to share about my journey," she began, her voice echoing in the space. Emma sat in the front row, feeling proud as she watched her sister shine. Sophie shared about the challenges she faced, the lessons she learned, and how she found her passion through writing. When the workshop ended, Sophie received enthusiastic applause from the audience. She felt as if she was soaring in the sky, and Emma knew this was the moment she had been waiting for. After the workshop, Sophie ran to hug Emma tightly. "Sister, I can't believe I did it. Thank you for always believing in me," she said, tears in her eyes. "I am so proud of you. You did great," Emma replied, feeling emotional. From then on, the two sisters went through many challenges together, and Sophie grew more mature. She found her passion in writing, and Emma was always the greatest source of encouragement in her life. But the story didn't stop there. In the journey of self-discovery, both sisters learned that love and forgiveness are the most valuable virtues. They overcame difficulties together, which helped them bond more than ever. When Emma looked into Sophie's eyes, she felt as if she had found a part of herself. She knew that they would always be together, overcoming any challenges in life. Each day that passed, they learned from each other, and the love between them grew deeper. And so, the story of Emma and Sophie was not just a journey of self-discovery, but also a journey of exploring love and forgiveness. They learned that life isn't always easy, but with love and support, everything can be overcome. In the end, Emma and Sophie stood together on the balcony, looking at the city under the sunset. "Sister, I feel like I've found my own path," Sophie said, her voice filled with happiness. "I feel the same way. We will always be together, no matter what happens," Emma replied, holding her sister's hand tightly. And in that moment, they knew that love and growth would always be the guiding light for them in life. Their journey was still ongoing, but now they were ready to face any challenges ahead, together.